Another World War II veteran who turned his attentions towards both novels and films was Alistair MacLean. Having served in the Royal Navy, MacLean's debut work would be HMS Ulysses, but it was his follow-up, The Guns of Navarone, that really made his name as the blockbuster writer of World War II stories. We are all brave men, and we are all afraid. And what the world calls a brave man, he too is brave and afraid like all the rest of us, only he is brave for 5 minutes longer. By the 1960s, MacLean's enormous literary success meant that many of his works were adapted for the big screen. He would even write the screenplay for the World War II thriller Where Eagles Dare himself, and drafted the novel at the same time. But it would be the adaptation of The Guns of Navarone that proved one of the most enduring World War II films ever made.
Well, that's enough. Now, you see this bottom runner? The first time they send this hoist down for shells or charges, this runner should come to here. And the moment it does, it will hit these two wires and we get a circuit. A circuit that will send up all my plastic explosives here, plus this little item that I borrowed here. Of course, they won't see these wires when I slap on some more grease.
Are you sure it'll work?
No guarantee, but the theory's perfectly feasible. But if this stuff does go up, then everything else in this place is going to go right up with it.
Suppose you don't get a contact.
Then I should be responsible for sinking one of His Majesty's destroyers. Maybe the whole lot of them. I'm sorry, sir, it's the only way I know to get the job done. As you said, I'm in it now. Up to my neck.
Not all of the great World War II authors were military men, though. J.G. Ballard was just a child living with his parents in China when he was caught up in the conflict. He would turn his chaotic childhood experiences into the semi-autobiographical novel Empire of the Sun, where the young Jim Graham, the J.G. is Ballard's name, ends up in a prisoner camp in Japan. Empire of the Sun would prove to be Ballard's most popular work, and Steven Spielberg would adapt it in 1987 with Tom Stoppard writing the screenplay.
Get dressed. You do what your mother tells you. We're leaving in 3 minutes.
If there was one author whose career was defined by World War II, it's James Jones. He signed up for the US Army at the age of just 17 in 1939. He was stationed in Hawaii and would witness the attack on Pearl Harbor that brought the United States into the war.
I enlisted in the Air Corps, we called it then. It was then a part of the Army. And they sent me to Hickam Field in Hawaii, where I spent 6 months pushing a lawnmower, because Bing Crosby and Bob Hope and Dorothy Lamour and I don't know who all was stars, all came to Hawaii on vacations. And when they did, they always took them out to Hickam Field and photographed them for the Army propaganda. 600 fellas, didn't do anything but mow lawns all day long, which was not my idea of what it was like to be a soldier. After about a year, not more than long, I transferred to the infantry, which was an unheard of thing. And because the Air Corps was the coming service, and it was a lot easier than, the leg work in the infantry, which I didn't know. I was too dumb, too naive to know. So I spent another year in a rifle company, Schofield Barracks. And the war started.
The Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor would form the basis of Jones' debut novel, From Here to Eternity.
Sounds like they're dynamite down at Wheeler Field. Mighty ambitious, huh? Sunday morning before 8 o'clock?
Jones would end up fighting in some of the most brutal battles in the Pacific, including the Guadalcanal campaign, and was decorated twice for his bravery.
Many people get involved in wars because the government insists that they go. And then they try to be brave because it's required of them by the government. If it wasn't for bravery, men would be too cowardly to fight wars. And that might be a good thing.
Jones would follow in Stephen Crane and Ernest Hemingway's footsteps by becoming a war reporter himself who would cover the conflict in Vietnam. He would continue to transfer his own fighting experience into his novels with 1962's The Thin Red Line, a sequel to his debut From Here to Eternity. Director Terrence Malick would make a highly acclaimed adaptation in 1998.
Stinks around here. All these dead people? We're sick enough, you know.